So I want to ask if it is right for the companies to get involved in the debate in the first instance. So I'm joined in the studio by Gary Powell. He's a research fellow for sexual orientation and gender identity at the Bow Group. Right, well, thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to start now. What do you think about Halifax, first of all, saying to their members of staff with the gender pronouns?
I was quite alarmed about it all. There was a time when the customer came first, and it was particularly the response on Twitter to people who were objecting to gender ideology or this sign of adherence to gender ideology. The response being that if you don't share our values, then please feel free to close your accounts. And I thought that was a very high-handed and arrogant response from a business. And I believe a lot of people have been closing their accounts. There was something in the newspapers today about where an individual claimed that their family had moved all their savings and investments out of Halifax to the tune of £450,000.
Wow.
And I'm sure a lot of other people are doing the same. But see, this gender ideology or this adherence to gender, it's a religion, by the way. It's not just a political ideology, it's a fundamentalist religion. And if you disagree with any part of it or you express any dissent, then people will try to destroy your life. They will try to cancel you. They will try to destroy your business. They will even try to undermine your family life if they can. And this is really what happens in totalitarian states that impose a religion on people, whether it's a kind of theistic religion or whether it's a political religion like Marxism.
Well, some people would say that that's a bit of an overstretch, really, and that actually it's only he, she, him, her, although in my last count I think there were 78 new gender pronouns now, some of which appear to be made up. I mean, I didn't agree to all of this, you know.
But too many to remember.
Well, that's the thing. But what would you say to people that say, actually, it's a bit of an overreaction taking your money out of an account just because they're saying that their staff can wear a pronoun on a badge?
Well, on the face of it, it does look like an overreaction. And people would be saying, well, why are you worrying about this? And this is because, I mean, I'm immersed in all the detail of gender ideology because it's something I've studied, it's something I write about, I read a lot about it, I talk about it, I've discussed with colleagues and friends. And I'm a gay man. I'm a long-standing gay rights activist. I've been involved in gay rights since 1980. I can see very clearly, gay rights are very, very important to me. There's about 70 countries of the world. Homosexuality is still criminalised. In about a dozen, you can suffer the death penalty for same-sex activity. Very, very important to me. And I'm seeing the LGBT plus movement, the Pride movement, has actually reversed what we were doing, everything we fought for. Stonewall have even redefined homosexuality as same-gender attraction. Now, homosexuality is same-sex attraction. And when you insist that you have to call it same-gender attraction, that means you have to introduce and accept people of the opposite sex who claim to be transgender into your dating pool. Now, what's going to happen one day when people say, look, I'm sorry, I'm just not attracted to you? It won't only happen because you are the wrong sex. You're not the sex I'm attracted to. That's happening to a lot of lesbians already on lesbian dating sites, who are being thrown off the sites for saying that they will not date men with male genitalia who claim that they're women and therefore lesbians. And it's the lesbians who are being thrown off their own sites. So there is now a serious attack on gay and lesbian rights from this transgender ideology, a serious attack on women's rights, men trying to insert themselves into women's protected spaces, a serious attack on child safeguarding, where children are being indoctrinated into transgender ideology. This is drawing in a disproportionate number of gay and lesbian young people and autistic young people. And people who are gender non-conforming.
And so do you think that this is almost the opening, you know, like when they would say that cannabis is a gateway drug, this would be sort of like a gateway that opens up this ideology of all the different genders and then makes people sort of susceptible to all the rest of it that comes with it?
Yes, a gateway phenomenon. That's a really good way of framing it. It's a gateway phenomenon. And at the moment, it looks harmless. Yes, somebody wants to present. And also, I also think if people want to present as the opposite gender, I have no objection to that, so long as they respect women's spaces. which transsexual people generally do. Now, there's a very stark difference between transsexual people and transgender people. Transsexuals are people who have suffered from gender dysphoria, and it's it can be a very, very distressing and serious condition. And after a lot of psychotherapy, sometimes the best way to ease their distress is for them to explore presenting themselves socially as a person of the opposite sex. And it's a cultural thing. It's socially determined, and transsexuals tend to explore cross-sex hormones and surgery. But that's very different from transgender people who. Some of the transgender men have got a beard.
So it's confusing, basically. So this whole gender ideology is actually confusing to everybody, and actually confusing those who are going through it.
It's confusing.
So in a word, then, yes or no, do you think that businesses like Halifax should be getting involved in this debate by putting things on gender pronouns and things like that on the badges?
They're doing enormous social harm, and they're also doing harm to transsexual people. People who are genuinely transsexual, who are suffering from gender dysphoria, because they will also feel under pressure to come out and either lie about what they feel their gender identity is, or to come out before they're ready to do so. So this is the LGBT plus movement doesn't care about transsexuals.
Well,
and this is they are one of the most seriously undermined groups from this ideology.